Hello everyone, Soulwalk here. Welcome to Exploring with Soulwalk. Now this video is about an Adventure Lab geocache. Adventure Lab, as most of you probably already know, is a separate app from the geocaching app. It's a lot of fun, and each Adventure Lab that you complete equals 5 geocache finds, specifically lab cache finds. So today we're going down to Bayport, Florida, and this is the location of one really cool adventure lab full of history, beautiful sights and sounds. And Bayport is right next to Weeki Wachee, Florida, so very beautiful area. So at this adventure lab, which is 100% terrain 1 cache because it is 100% wheelchair accessible, you'll see a lot of plaques, and these plaques explain a lot of different things that happened at Bayport, Florida. The Battle of Bayport is all about two attacks that targeted the bay in 1863. In 2010, the Florida Public Archaeology Network and Hernando Historic Preservation Society located mid-19th century ship remains, possibly related to these battles. The Gulf Archaeology Research Institute in 2015 found the original harbor and Confederate positions north of Bayport County Park. Some fascinating things happened here. There was lots of battles taking place, of course, between Confederate and Union forces. One of the things that was interesting to me is that the Confederates hid 4 of 6 blockade runners up a nearby creek, and the Union forces found the schooner, which was named Helen, captured its crew, and set it afire. The Confederates burned another vessel, a large schooner loaded with cotton that was anchored in the harbor and ready for sea. The Battle of the Two Sisters in Annie, which are two boats from Fort Henry, targeted a British sidewheel steamer flying a French flag. The Confederates burned the steamer in a nearby warehouse, and the Union boats withdrew. So, just a couple of interesting facts about this first location. So, the next location of this adventure lab takes you to another plaque about Bayport's first people. The first people that arrived in the Bayport area around 13,000 years ago are called the Paleo Indians. The Bayport area was much cooler and drier then, and the Gulf of Mexico was 200 feet lower. These Paleo Indians used large spears with stone points to hunt mammoth and mastodon. 9,000 years or so later, the climate had become warmer and the sea levels rose, something that we're definitely familiar with today. By 2,500 years ago, the Deptford culture people living around Bayport lived in a small settlement along the Gulf. They used shell tools, and their diets relied very heavily on marine resources. They also found a Bayport burial mound that contained artifacts that dated from the Weedon Island culture from about 1100 to 1700 years ago. So all kinds of interesting historical information here about Bayport's first people. So some interesting things about this next plaque that really stuck out to me was by 1861, the town consisted of approximately only 40 houses, a customs house, warehouses, and a wharf. The plantations and ranches surrounding Bayport supplied cattle and natural resources such as turpentine, which was made from native longleaf pine trees. And as you know, there's lots of cypress trees, pine, and cedar trees here. Salt was also made from seawater in big evaporation ponds, along with cotton and corn, and these things help support the Confederate fighting forces. So a lot of natural resources were being exported out of here. Something cool about this next location, this plaque, without reading the entire thing to you, that really stuck out to me is that during the early Miocene period, uh, vast forests of conifers and deciduous trees supported giant pigs, rhinoceroses, and small camels. They've found very many fossils here, including fossils of rodents, carnivores, and early horses, especially near sinkholes near Brooksville. And that's one thing that Florida, especially this part of Florida, is full of, and that's sinkholes. There's been lots of fossilized remains found near Weeki Wachee Springs of very large mammals, such as mammoths, mastodons, ground sloths, and saber-toothed cats. So I thought that was interesting too. So after the Civil War, Bayport had to be largely rebuilt, of course. Cedar trees were cut and floated down the Weeki Wachee River to Bayport for shipment to Cedar Key. And for those of you that watch my channel regularly, um, we've definitely touched on Cedar Key before. A very beautiful place. Now, Cedar Key has a lot of oyster farms and beautiful beaches. Um, Here in the post-Civil War era, there was hotels built. It became a very popular haven for fishermen, boaters, and sportsmen. Um, During Prohibition, Bayport's remote location gave rise to a bootlegging operation, which, of course, means making alcohol during a time where alcohol wasn't legal. And then, very interestingly to me, during World War II, a radar installation was in use here for bombing practice by World War II planes from MacDill Air Force Base. And then a former bird rack rookery was built and used to collect dung from cormorant birds, which anybody that lives here is definitely familiar with cormorant birds. There's definitely a lot of them. So these cormorant birds would poop, and their fertilizer was used for fertilizer production. But then, interestingly, after this bird rack rookery was closed, used for fertilizer production, the whole site was used for target practice by the Army Air Corps. So a big pile of crap was used to have a lot of crap shot at it. So at this stage of the Adventure Lab cache, this location tells you to look out across the bay waters and you'll see a sign out in the water. And there's just a simple question, and that is, what is the color of the sign? So it is kind of hard to see when the sun is really bright, but you can make it out. So what is the color of the sign? They're not too scared of humans.
No.
They must be used to being fed or something. Hi there.
Oh, crap. Okay, well, let's see.
It is absolutely gorgeous here. Between all the beautiful sights and sounds of the water slapping against the shore, all the birds, such as the boat-tailed grackle, which is one of my favorite birds down here, by the way. I just love it. It kind of looks like a big fuzzy brown fur ball that makes the most strangest sounds. And then, of course, we have the deciduous trees like the conifers and the cedar and the cypress trees, which definitely make for an interesting sight as their roots dry out from the water. Palm trees, we got date palms and some coconuts. There's, of course, plenty of other plants that I can't identify but are very beautiful, lots of flowers. Definitely seen some interesting things here, that's for sure. As you can see, there are just all kinds of different flora and fauna here in Florida. There's tropical, there's deciduous, and there's desert-like plants. And in this case, as you can see, there's a nice specimen of a cactus growing right next to a palm tree, which never fails to amaze me. It's like two opposite worlds right next to each other. It's so cool. So at this stop in the Adventure Lab, we're asked to look up and see a house. And as you'll see from this picture, there is a big house up on a pole. This is a bat house. And in this area of Florida, very specifically the Gulf of Mexico coast, there is one species of bat called the Florida fruit bat. And the Florida fruit bat, as you can tell from its name, subsists on fruits that are native to Florida. Unfortunately, the Florida fruit bat is very endangered and is in danger of going extinct. So these big bat houses are erected very close to the beach in most cases, and they hope that they will serve as a safe home away from predators and humans, so that they can breed and be happy and safe. So for this Adventure Lab cache location, the simple answer is bat. So everybody, thanks for coming along with me today on this cool geocaching Adventure Lab adventure. If you want more information on Adventure Labs, please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you like this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and as always, feel free to comment. I look forward to spending time with you again with another video. Stay tuned. It seems like here lately I have enough footage to do one about once a week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a month. So until next time, this is Soul Walk signing out. Have a great day.